welcome to National Matters. I am your pastor, Pastor Moses Chula, and of course in the studio I have my guest, President KASONDE MWENDA, who is the president of EFF. EFF.
Yes,
what does it mean? What does it stand for? Because even Julius Malema, and I've seen that it's in other countries. What is the connection? By the way, welcome to the program.
It's always a pleasure to be at Cabinet, and I'm happy you gave us this privilege to come and talk to the people of Zambia. Of course, EFF is Economic Freedom Fighters. It is a narrative that brought us so much joy as an Africa. And it is premised on our desire to be self-determinant, for us as Africans to be free. We got a chance to be free politically. Now we remained for one cause, for us to be free economically. So it's a constant reminder to our people that we need to have economic freedom. So to coin it no further than the reminder, we had to call ourselves Economic Freedom Fighters. It is a Pan-Africanist movement. It's the same wind that has been blowing in South Africa. It is the same wind that's blowing in Zambia. We have EFF in Liberia, EFF in Malawi, EFF in Nigeria, EFF everywhere. We are more than 36 now, and we are growing. Soon we'll have EFF in each and every section of Africa. So we are a Pan-Africanist vision. We are a transformation of those philosophers of Africa that were envisioning freedom politically, but now we have still remained with economic freedom. We are not free economically.
I think about last month or so, I saw that Julius Malema filled the stadium to capacity, and he acknowledged the EFF political leaders, presidents who had come from different countries. I thought next you call on President KASONDE and say we have EFF from Zambia, and you were not there, but I saw other people from different countries. That's when it dawned on me that it is not just in South Africa.
Yes, definitely. We had some of our members, because we already have a branch and a network of EFF Zambia based in South Africa. So we were not at the moment to attend. I was not in a position to attend, but our people attend. So we are a robust network. We have got EFF in UK, EFF Zambia, EFF in the US. We have got even EFF Zambia in China, even a branch of EFF Zambia in Russia. So we, as EFF Zambia, have got these tentacles, and we are a group of people that are aspiring to take Zambia out of this political quagmire where we have been stuck for too long.
Tonight, President MWENDA, we're going to discuss more about politics, the politics in Zambia, as we've been telling the people. But before we go to that, I'm interested because when you say economical, freedom fighters, that is tackling the economy from the economical point of view to bring liberation. I wonder if you saw, you are aware that this man who took over in this young man, was this not Liberia, not West Africa?
Yes.
What's this country where there was a coup recently? Okay. There is this country, I'll remember it as we discussed. The saddening thing is that France has been getting uranium from that country for 80 cents per kilogram. 80 cents per kilogram. This man who has come over, he has put it at $200 per kilogram. The international rate is 300 euros per kilogram. Now you wonder, you mean Africa has been raped day and night like that, and nobody says something to the West, the North, and the superpowers?
Yes, it's a travesty. It is unfortunate. It is an atrocity that has been perpetuated using our own people. We as Africans, I always ask myself, do we love ourselves? Because for that which we have, for it to be gotten from us, we are very strong people. Look at our physical makeup. No one can parallel an African. But how is it that other nations have managed to rip us off? They have known our weakness, and our weakness is the lack of self-love. You will see that what we saw in East Africa, we saw in West Africa, we see it now becoming a zone where people are emancipating themselves through, unfortunately, means that are not ethical, like coups. But what we are seeing them resisting is a kind of dominance that has perpetuated their suffering, which has, unfortunately has been institutionalized. It is from the same reckoning. When you look at our system here, we are not far from those countries. Actually, we have embraced a certain kind of docility. We are apathetic to our suffering. We have accepted our suffering. And do you know why we have accepted it? It's because those that use us, that steal from us, use the people that are close to us. They use the same people that we live with. It is under the same premise that even slave trade was perpetuated. The people from Europe and the Americas did not come and start stealing people. They used uncles. They used our chiefs to get our people. So that same tragedy has not ended. It has continued up to today. We are being robbed, being ripped off of our resources using the very people that we trust, the people that we trust in the kind of leaders we put in government.
I've remembered the country actually. It's Niger.
Sure.
Niger uranium has been going to France for 80 cents per kilogram. I think this is criminal. When I got this information, I said France must be prosecuted, and these other countries. There's no way you can be that cruel. And 50% of the budget is kept in France. Then they have to apply to use their own money. Who came up with such policies? And these are natural things that God gave to each country. We will come to Zambia, to each country, 80 cents per kilogram of uranium, and yet the international market is 300 euros per kilogram. I just brought this to you. If God decides that you'll be president someday or whatever, I'm not on God's appointing committee in heaven. I'm here with you. You never know who can be president tomorrow. But I think as leaders in Africa, as opposition leaders, as alternative governments, my friend in Uganda is a pastor. He's an opposition leader. He came third from 7, I think, the last election. The other elections, when he came to preach, I introduced him as opposition leader. He said, Pastor, I'm not an opposition leader. What should I oppose in Museveni's leadership? Me, I'm an alternative government. So I'm an alternative leader, and from that time I call you alternatives. But I think these are some of the things, President Kasonde, that you should look at, even as you do your politics here and internationally. Africa must be free.
Definitely, I agree with you. It is actually from that premise. You know, I've lived in Wansha. I've lived in Kitwe. And the fate that has befallen Niger is not so far from us. It is so unfortunate for us that we are even in a worse place, because the travesty that we have been entangled in as the people of Zambia is that we are not even informed. Zambia produces a lot of uranium. Actually, if we look at comparative advantage, we are poised to be the country with the highest uranium reserves in the world.
Really?
Not just in Africa. We have got reserves even greater than Niger. So we are a country that's highly endowed. And we are mining uranium right now. If you go to Kansanshi mine, they are mining uranium. What is unfortunate is Niger, they even know how much they're selling. Zambia, we don't know.
Does the government know that we are mining?
Know. Yes, it knows. It's not illegal. If you look at the declaration of what even Kansanshi mine declares, uranium is a big chunk. I lived in Solwezi myself. For more than 7 years, I was working there. I was running an estate, a construction estate. These are public knowledge. You know that if you go to Kansanshi mine, they mine even a lot of gold. But they are a copper mine. So what we see is, we used to see, when that time, we used to see planes coming and taking off. I was surprised when Zambians made such a big noise over these planes at the airport. Maybe it's because it's in Lusaka, but when you go to Solwezi, that's the normal order of the day. So we are living in a system that is so... Even our copper. Our copper, do you know what our government? Our government doesn't even know where our copper ends. We sell our copper on the black market. Our copper, Zambia, we don't know where our copper... I got an opportunity. I was in Holland, Netherlands there. And I met people, and they said, you know what, we buy this copper, but we don't know where it comes from. Then they use that copper for construction, they put it in concrete. I didn't know about that technology. So what happens is, in Zambia, we do not have a place where we sell our copper. We don't have.
Really?
We don't have. There are vultures that have taken over our copper as we dig, and that's where our story ends. And to make it matters worse, maybe our friends in Niger are able to track their uranium. But us, this copper mine, we find that there is no mine that we are entirely in charge of the whole value chain. Abasungu, they have come in. They do the prospecting. They're involved in prospecting. You know, we have a resource. We're supposed to benefit from it, at least at some stage in the value chain. But now what has happened is, we are not part of our own value chain. They do the prospecting. We go look for vendetta and the likes. They come and do now the actual mining, the extraction. We don't do anything. They even now go to value addition. They even export. We are not the ones that export. Do you know what we're supposed to get? We're supposed to get tax. Do you know what we have done? We have waived tax.
It goes to VAT.
We have. So, and these are wasting assets. Our children may not find these things. So if what no, come and get to go to fee, go buy, come and Basugu, come and get. The 12 quaternions to come and get. Yesterday, I got a chance to see to on Facebook. I got to watch some of these people that surround the president. My big brother, I can't them. And I found one at Akashambatwa, whatever. I know that gentleman. He had posted on his Facebook, because they are privileged information. He was saying there is this company that is doing prospecting in Zambia. I saw this at night last night. I just bumped into it. He's saying there's this at Block Cobalt, that company. He's saying it is a company in which Bill Gates and who's this other one? They have got shares, and it's in Zambia. It's the one prospecting cobalt.
In Zambia.
In Zambia. In Zambia. We have sold concessions that there's cobalt, we should have been part of the value chain, at least catching in Bako. We have already signed deals for Abasungu to come and dig our cobalt. First, to come and look for it, dig our cobalt, process it. We had all these fancy dreams. No, we'll have a battery value chain. Do you hear them anymore? You don't hear them. Because we have called Abasungu, come and get. So they are ripping us off even today, using our very own people that we have entrusted power in. And this has been a travesty that we should have healed ourselves of. I admire people in Niger. They are alive. At least they're able to stand against the atrocities that have kept them in bondage. But here, when you speak, you are insulted. There's no person in this country who is insulted more than I am. Shirakonkanen said 5,000 insults. You can go check on my Facebook page. And I'm simply telling them, say, you people, you are losing your assets. So, unfortunately, I'm praying that this new generation of Zambians will wake up. We are blessed to have you, our parents. You fought for us the independence, the political independence. But the political independence...
I was 4 years.
Yes, but...
I was 4 years,
yes. So... But we have a burden of economic emancipation. We are more enslaved than how we were enslaved when we were under colonialism. At least we knew what we were fighting, and we got it. But under, they will not allow us.
But under Kaunda, all the mines, Dr. Kaunda ensured that we had 51% shares in it.
Definitely.
And that's how we managed to build the country. Just like today, President KASONDE, with our economic issues that we have, if this government or the previous government said, let's build the Kafue Gorge Dam, do you think we would have the money to pay for that dam? Not even this University of Zambia. You can see, tuyatu inotuma blocks vasha, utuma hostels, etu issue pafi government. Nanomba we can't complete this university.
We are a disgrace to ourselves because we don't love ourselves. You know, what we have been crying for, say, no, we don't have capital. Because for us to be able to undertake big projects, to emancipate ourselves, we need to have money. But I was checking, for instance, I keep looking at, because the most hot topic is Vendetta. They, right now, as we are talking, they are in 11.8 billion debt. In Congo, it's 11.8 billion. They have got more debt than the debt we have for China, because us is only $6 billion.
As a nation?
As a nation, we are owing China only $6 billion, and we are dancing. Do you know when we privatized Zambia? When we privatized Zambia, in the between 1991 and 1996, when we sold off those assets, do you know how much debt we had? We sold off all our assets because we had 7 billion debt. 7 billion debt, that's how much debt we had. And we had to give over 500 estates. Offloaded companies that if we sold would have made over $20 billion. So you give away 20 billion, they were, you know, I found out how we were selling. Some of those assets, we didn't even sell them. People up to now have not paid for ifigayo, bale pela. Ifigayo bale pela na bantu ba ipenda imwena imosendeni kwefi. Imwena imose. So we are coming from, if there is an atrocity that was committed on the face of Zambia, was that scam of the privatization. We killed our country.
Before you go further, President, you have no idea, but let me tell you one story. My heart bleeds. My own church member here, Mwansa Mutano Kameiso, rest in peace. He was the last Zambian MD for national milling.
Yes.
He managed Chilanga as managing director. He managed national milling. When they were privatizing, he appealed to the government of Zambia, can I buy this? They refused a Zambian national and they gave it to South Africans who bought that. The MD who ran that company with profit, they refused him. This company that got the national meeting, go and check your records.
Yes.
What they did was to sell the house he was living in Kablonga, and the deputy, the two houses, when they sold them, they paid off for national meeting. And they got the machines which were here, modern state-of-the-art machines. They opened the Namibia branch of national meeting. That, up to now, my brother was speaking with tears. He said, I don't know what Zambia thinks about itself. You refuse a Zambian. You give foreigners in the name of privatization. They just sold 2 houses. Ask anybody who was in power. 2 houses. And they paid for the national meeting. That thing you see. It's like you say, privatization is one of the biggest scams. That's where some of the criminals came from.
Yes, and that's now.
People ripped Zambia,
yes,
from that privatization issue.
And this is where, when we tell the story, people say, no, don't mention it because Malumbula Maba HH and all these things. But look, but HH is no cleaner than the people that were before him. He was a young man. He was only 29. He was given a chance. I was a proselyte. I was trained by by late John Manakato. I used to come in Kablongo as a little kid and I read all his books at the big library. When you look at Zambia's system, you find that John Manakato, when he was finance minister, they came up with a program they're calling Zambianization. You know about it, where we were replacing foreign experts with Zambians.
With the Zambians.
So they were picking. They used to go to universities and pick, train you. So it's not like some people were super brainy. They were no. They were just at the right time, at the right place. So they were trained. Now, when they came to privatize, they made a mess of our country. But somebody has been asking, no, for instance, why didn't PF Cash prosecute him? Why didn't MMD? It's very simple. The people that formed MMD, those were the masterminds of the plunder. Now, they all included, they were part of the mastermind. Actually, when I become president, I'm promising you, we will open the docket. We will investigate. I'm telling you, we will investigate. Because countries that did not mess themselves up, it's nothing personal. And this problem is bigger than HH. It's a drop in this problem. It's a small fish in the people that tripped us off. Because what happened now is they opened it up. MMD couldn't investigate it. Do you know why? They are the people that stole. Came PF. PF is a breakaway of MMD. Michael Satan, Meisorest, and all those people, they came from MMD. How was PF going to even point at President Hakainde Hichilema? How? They were together, they stood together. There was no way they were going to point at him. From MMD, what came next is UPND. So there has never been a moment when a clear conscious people that never stole, have never ascended office yet. We were born in hardships. We were seeing people fall of AIDS. There was poverty. Enough to but we have never had people to clean the mess. The way they littered it, I've got each book. I can read all the assets that were given, and I know who was given what. I can point to, I know how many assets were given to President Hakainde Hichilema. I know. I know how many took Ronald Penza. I know how many. These are people who created a criminal syndicate, and I still stand by it as a criminal syndicate that messed us up. Why are we upset? We are not jealous of their filth rich. No. China braved the moment. They refused to privatize. In 1972, we were at a stronger footing than China. Our kwacha was equivalent to 65. One kwacha, $1 was equal to 65. $1 was equal to 65 ngwe.
Yeah, when was it?
1976. By 1972, so from during the 1970s, 1976, $1 was equal to 56 ngwe, not even kwacha. We were stronger than China. China persisted. I can't say no, the CCM worked well, we struggled because we didn't have enough manpower. In short, school of mining, Kunza, what. We didn't have. Us, we sold. China kept. Right now, the whole world is begging, boiling down. I was reading the story of Huawei. It's now become like it was pushed down by the Americans, kicked out. Now it has risen, and it is scaring Apple. Just yesterday, their sales were projected to overshadow Apple. Our friends in China persisted. Us, we sold. You know why? Because we listened to the white man. He was whispering sweet things in some of our people that we have rewarded even with power now. So we are in a big problem because there is a certain kind of venom, of self-hate that was transferred to our people. And those people that were injected with that venom of self-hate, of greed, of lack of patriotism, these are the people that we are saluting. These are the people that were dominant in MMD, they became dominant in PF, and now they are the owners of UPND. So until this crop of people that have got no iota of patriotism are phased out of the political arena, we are wasting time. We are wasting time.
So you are saying that some of the people in power now and in the previous regimes.
MMD, PF, it's one whole chain.
Some of them are part of the scandal.
They are the masterminds. You know how from the only true party that stood away from the systems we've had. What are they? The systems was UNIP. Was a humanist. Kaunda was a humanist. From there came MMD. MMD, we know about Chiruba, how he moved. We know how he passed in, how he let his lieutenants, Michael Sanda and the likes, get power. And we know from PF, how from PF was birthed, even the UPND. So I'm calling on a brand new leadership to rise in Africa and address these contemporary problems, because there is no way we are going to solve the problems we have using the people that created them. And I believe a moment should come that us as Zambians should realize that we need a revolution. We need a revolution. If you are mutina pofie, it won't take us anywhere. We need a real turn of events. We need a turnaround on how we look at our resources.
President Kasonde, I'm going to ask this question. Some 3 years ago, I had the privilege of bringing our mother. She likes watching Kamnet TV right now. She's watching, I know, with our father. This is Her Royal Highness Chieftainess Nyakuleng in Zambezi. As you were saying, she came and lamented here. I presented it to the government 3 years ago. I said, she said, there are planes that come of white people. Between June up to November, they come to do exploration of the minerals.
Yes.
And that thing, they have been doing it for the past 12 years.
Yes.
Exploration.
Yes.
Between June and November, when it starts raining, they go. They go with sacks in their planes.
Yes. And
they say, we are doing exploration. I won't mention the company for fear of being prosecuted or Cabinet being sued, but it's a prominent mining company which is based in Africa.
Yes.
And I said, so what do they give you, ma'am? She says they just leave maybe 5 computers and give midi meals to the people who have been working with them every single year.
Yes.
Now the question is, how can a plane take off from Zambezi and you don't pick it? People land even here in Mukushi, and some land in the minister is on record, Minister Sylvia Masebo. When she was Minister of Tourism, somebody presented the paper there. She had it at Sunday's creation, I was there. She had it at Mulungushi, that people land with planes there in the lower Zambezi, all these lodges. That's why Zambians, there is no Zambian who owns a meaningful lodge. And there are no Zambians who are licensed to kill. Only one Zambian. The rest are pilots, doctors, white people. They are the ones who come to hunt those lions. But you see planes landing and take off with our trophy. They sedate the lions, they sedate this animal, they sedate this, and they go. And nobody monitors. Now she's Minister of Health. I don't know if she still remembers, because she promised that she was going to put soldiers to monitor that. This Africa president, sometimes you feel like crying, because you elect people, you think they're educated, they will do something meaningful, and they even say for you to become a leader, you must have a grade 12 certificate. Surely to search somebody and say, what's in that bag? You need a grade 12 certificate.
It's unfortunate. We don't have self-love. And the West and they have capitalized. They know they can look for puppets amongst us who can carry the agenda and they can die for the white man. We have those people. And for me, I'm not convinced President Hakainde Hichilema is not one of them. I believe he is such persons that are malleable, that when he's in the presence of the white man, he feels overjoyed. He feels at home. Until we have Zambians that can stand for Zambia, we have all these mineral resources. But why don't we have even licenses trickling down to Zambia? We do not have a single Zambian, as they're saying, who has got even a gold mining license. We don't have. We don't have a single Zambian with a sujilite mining license. We don't have. You know what we're looking for? A Mzungu will just cough and we give. I've heard people say, no, we are giving back KCM to the rightful owner, vendetta. God have mercy on whoever cast us. According to our constitution, all land in Zambia belongs to the people of Zambia. If you look at the Lands Acquisition Act 1972, you will find that all land, all minerals belong to Zambia. All these others that come, we simply lease them. It's just a lease contract. Dig, 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 and leave us. So every property that we have is ours in Zambia. Go to India and let's go and find out if you can own anything in India as a Zambian. But if we have been fed with so much propaganda and we have been cheapened to argue on premises like tribalism because so we have been so unfortunate on how we have fought for ourselves to get out of this mud. I'm praying that we will not die in this situation as Africans of this generation. I'm praying that before I join my ancestors, we would have awakened the conscience in the African people that what is theirs is the gift that came from God to spur them out of poverty. When I look to people like what our friends in the Middle East have done, they realized that God, although they were in a desert, go to Abu Dhabi now. Go to the Arab Emirates. See how those people have taken advantage of their oil. They don't let America go and dig their oil. They don't.
No, they don't.
Does America have technology? Yes. Does Britain have? Yes. But when it comes to their oil,
national resources,
is their oil. But what's the problem with us? What's the problem? If we technology, it is such kind of atrocity that which blinds us and keeps us in mediocrity. Wherever they can get money, I was giving you an example of saying Vendetta is in 11.8 billion. But at Avena Koten Congolese 11.8 Mapana mine. Even more Congolese wherever they are going to borrow money, we can also borrow.
Maybe there is something we do not know, President Kasonde, because there are a lot of clips that are surfacing on social media where the President HH is on record when he was in the opposition.
Yes.
He said these guys are criminals, and he said he hasn't given the media and what, but it was amazing to see that it has been given to the same criminals.
It's simple.
That we are opposed to. Maybe there is something we do not know.
It's simple. He's gone to bed with the criminals. He's a friend of the criminals. Two can't work together unless they agree. The scriptures are plain in our face. Now he's agreeing with Vendetta. How? The criminals? Because he's a friend of the criminals. We are very much aware. I remember when he was invited to South Africa, he went dancing. Invited by Vendetta, who he had recommended with his company, Grant Thornton, that they needed to be ejected. For once did I want to see President Hakainde Hichilema agree with PF. I remember even a memo was released by Dora Silia that we agree with HH that Vendetta should go. And they ejected. Now HH, being what he is, he saw it as an opportunity. He slid behind and started dealing with the very people that he had recommended that they go. So what he has done is a betrayal. But it's not the first time he's betraying the country. He has been betraying, and it is his nature. And he will keep betraying them. He will keep betraying us. I know we danced, we thought we were so preoccupied by the kind of animosity that the PF had brought. But President Hakainde Hichilema was never a solution, and he will never be a solution for this country.
But maybe, you see, what I can think of, President Kasonde, you people when you are in the opposition, you may not know what the president knows. The only two qualified people who can argue this case wonderfully is President Edgar Lungu and President HH, because President Edgar Lungu was president and he has the facts why he ejected Vendetta. Now that President HH was in the opposition, he treated them as criminals. For him to bring them back to run the same minds they had, now that he's president, his eyes have been opened. So I think these two, President Edgar Lungu and President HH, are the ones who can convince the nation why Vendetta and why not Vendetta. You and I may speculate.
Yes, we could speculate, my bishop, but the parameters are constant. I'm a legal scholar, and my duty is to prepare those same documents that the president has to refer to. I saw Wakabuswe yesterday talk out of ignorance, saying, no, we have brought Vendetta now. This time, we have even given them a clause that there will be no liquidation. We'll just kick them. Wakabuswe, if you are listening, that's ignorance, and you are misleading the country. Because those contracts are embedded in international law. You don't just wake up and create a clause. They will still argue it, so that is of no consequence. So there is no contract that which can go against the laws of this country. And the laws of this country are clear. It is clear on how you have to part company with an investor. It's clear. There is no president who needs to know what we don't know. No, it's clear. It's a simple contract which should be made available. Why are they afraid to give us a document that they have signed with Vendetta this time around? They want to claim, no, this time we have tied them that they will bring 1 billion. Even before they went, they were under the same clause. No, they have to increase salaries. Even before they went, they were under the same clause of increasing by 25%. There is nothing new. And the more we keep doing the same thing and expecting different results, that's madness. So we are proudly feeding off madness for ourselves, and we expect this country to go on. But Bishop, I can assure you, call me next year this time. Zambia will be in a worse place than where we are. It's not because I hate this country. I love this country.
Are you sure?
Die for this country. I'm telling you.
Are you sure?
Call me this.
We'll be worse off.
Call me next year this time. We'll be worse off where we are. Very worse off. You know why? You know why? We are just creating a smoke of lies. You cannot anchor development on a foundation of lies. I am privileged, Mafiash. This I can assure you. I get to have a peep on some of the notes that the president is only privileged. Because people are trying to preserve this country. So already they have aligned us as alternatives, as you are saying. And we see those documents that the president see. We do see them. We do see them. So actually, maybe we do see them as a matter of privilege. We do see them. So most of these things, they say, no, we have done no. So there's nothing difficult. Some things are difficult only because you are compromised. You know, if Vendetta Tawariamo, you simply show them the door. Tapaba ne fiako sa tijani no twalia school, you sent us to school. Tapaba ne fiako sa bala no fiako ta fiako sa, maybe unless we are dunderheads. But those things, fiako sa from Africa, masungu bena they will eject you, they will kick you out overnight when you err out. But in Africa when fiako sa. Let a Zambian company go and misbehave in the UK or in India, they will come back packing the following morning. But it's only here where such kind of mediocrity is entertained.
As you said, let me refer to this. We are still coming to politics, but I think this is also for the good of my soul, for the good of the Zambian people, the economy of our nation. I was privileged to sit with a government official from China who said, Pastor, do you know that cigarettes cannot be privatized in China? Alcohol cannot be privatized, these breweries, because that's where the revenue of the nation comes from.
Yes.
And, but we're still not from that official. I came to learn that in China you can't even buy a flat whether you have money.
Yes.
They don't allow. Ethiopia is another country. If you want to invest there, find an Ethiopian. 60%, you bring in 100 million, surrender $60 million to an Ethiopian. And when taking out your profits, you are not going to take out of Ethiopia the whole of it. Look at what they are doing. Their airline and everything, Ethiopia is growing by leaps and bounds. But Zambia, like somebody said, the late Commissioner Museva, he just said to us, to me at the golf club, he said, Zambia. I don't understand. If Intunefi is straight, you want to complicate them.
Lack of discipline.
How can you borrow $5 billion when Surgilite, Mwachilaland,
Yes.
I was looking at the international markets.
Yes.
50 tons of that will give us the same money. Will give us the same money, 50 tons. And those things are in hundreds of tons. We have, like you said, copper. We have this. I don't get it. Surely I don't get it.
It's a travesty. It is despicable. We haven't had revolutionaries in this country, rulers before. Maybe KASONDE. These others, with all due respect, they never had the thirst for this country. If you look in other countries, they have been tend to be where they are because some people stood up and drove an agenda of economic emancipation. Here we have got puppets. A person, abantu bale finance alobunga, they know simple logic. Put a subsidy, lessen down. Now I'm afraid subsidy. Then if you go to UK right now, their food is subsidized.
Of course.
But no, you're under IMF, don't subsidize. We have got people who have got no backbone. So until we have men with a backbone of steel, I know I'm risking my life right now. But we need to have men that will step out of their skin of mediocrity, put up a backbone of steel, stand for this country. If possible, let them die for this country. That's the only time we'll get out of this man.
Like the late Mugabe and the Ugandan man who say, that's rubbish, we are not going to accept it to this. That generation is being phased out, eh?
Definitely. But I'm happy the snake that bit them, I think, is biting this new generation because we are seeing how we are being duped. And I don't think we can take it anymore. I don't think every normal youth, I can see a youth there, he can't take it anymore. We can't take it anymore. We can't. We are tired. We can't. I've got an army of the new generation people. And we won't take it anymore. If in fact to be poverty, there is no Zambian right now who owns an estate in China, but they'll come and own. If we don't come in here, we are not less. We have been in class with these people. We are not less intelligent. If I showed you my phone, the embassies that have been calling me, let's have a meeting and look at them. As I'm wasting time. You don't see me with my embassies. Because some of them, I look at their caliber. I've met them before. And they think, they have a corona mentality when they're talking to you. No, see, we can organize funding. So, we need to be Zambia, not to stand on our feet. If you say, it won't take us anywhere. We should stand, suffer for ourselves, redeem ourselves out of this. We have not just had men and women who have stood up in this country for a long time.
On Friday, President MWENDA, as you are saying, President KASONDE, my wife and I drove to Chibombo, just Chibombo here. We went to see some family. I was amazed. 2,800 hectares has been bought by a Chinese.
We are coming.
From the headman.
We are coming.
2,800. I said, sir, who sold this to Chinese? He says they even want to buy this land. They want 5,000 hectares. I said, are you aware that you can't buy not even 2 acres, not even 10 by 10 in China? What has gone wrong? Right now we think that is development or what, and there is BRICS coming, and China is still taking advantage very slowly, and people don't know that we are being colonized. Like you said, I support you.
Thank you.
The moment Zambia and Africa will raise its own people to say enough is enough, even the West will know.
Definitely. Definitely.
Even China will know.
Definitely. And that's the only way. That's the only way. That's the only way. There is no one looking out for us right now. There is no one. There is no Muslim out there looking out for Africa. There is no one. There is no Chinese person looking out for us. No. Everybody's looking out for themselves. We need to look out for ourselves. When
you become president, one of the things I can advise you, President KASONDE, for my sake, look at something which you educated people don't look at, and that is tax. I think we don't know the difference between tax and VAT, sales tax and VAT. You go to school, you get all this education, but you don't realize how Africa is being ripped off. When Margaret Manakato was Minister of Finance, she introduced sales tax, if you remember.
Yes, I remember.
She said we are moving away from tax.
Yes.
I got a phone call from my friend in America who said, Pastor, you are not going to be allowed as Zambia to start this tax, sales tax. I said, why? The minister said it. She said, you watch it. You are not going to be allowed. You are not going to be allowed. I said, why? He says, Africa is good with VAT, because after people have sold, they will come and claim and say, VAT return.
Yes, returns.
But in America, you don't find VAT. You don't sales tax. And he said, should your country introduce sales tax, watch your economy. It will be the first in Southern Africa to be getting such development. Before long, Margaret Manakato was replaced.
Yeah, and it was reversed.
She was replaced by Honorable Ngandu, of course, and that was reversed, yes. You know. So that, you should also look at it. Should yes. God allow you to be president, if you've got the stamina, introduce sales tax, not this VAT. You exempt people from paying tax. VAT, you give them, they still come and claim. Even the little that you have, they claim it goes out. How can you stabilize the kwacha?
No, we are not serious. Our biggest challenge, as you have put it, is we are hemorrhaging. It's a situation where if the cup has got a hole in it, and you keep pouring without taking care of the hole, you pour all your life, it will never get full. So we are in a situation as a country where we lose out too much than what we return. We know we don't even have any law that stops how much somebody can externalize. No. So our Sungu Baimba minerals, they make 10 billion, they can take all of it. All the profit they will take. There is no law that stops them. That doesn't happen elsewhere. So now we have people that do funny things here with our blessing. And it is unfortunate that they are creating a hegemony, that which will propagate their ambitions. They are involved in our politics. They even choose who should be our leader. Such that if you don't conform with them, you are going against the current. So we are in that situation, and I'm praying that our pursuit will not be futile, and in such a particular time, the Zambian people, who are the true custodian of the true power of economic emancipation, will hear the clarion and will march on together strong. And it's now or never. I'm glad you sent us to school. We went to school. We have read. We know. They can't lie to us anymore.
May I ask you this question? I know you are not yet in power. Not yet. Could it be that politicians benefit to some of these deals that are signed? Personal gratification?
I lived in Solwezi, and the person I was living with, I hope I'm not transgressing. The person I was living with was a manager of a non-bank. He was a boss. What used to happen is every time a political functionary, a leader, visits Solwezi, the bank will run out of dollars. Because the mine owners used to come and pull off the dollars and give as gratification to these politicians. So they perpetually go to get money. They go to get money over and over. They give them gifts. When we come in as EFF, we will not be allowing ministers to be getting gifts. All that they get, they need to declare. Not that, no, 2 months in office, foreign affairs, at pocket a briefcase, pen, calendar. Such kind of indiscipline. Under EFF would have been fired a long time. So if you see such kind of indiscipline, where you see even the Republican president who today will say, no, I got a gift from RDA to build the road from whatever to my farm. That kind of misconduct we are seeing. So you hear even that helipad he's building and all, you say it's a gift. Such will not allow. There should be order in a country, and the order should be followed. Now, as we are speaking, the president is not even in State House. But such kind of indiscipline. And last time I checked, so next time, meaning if I became a president, then it means na yeti ndefu makunganda na kajeti every day. Na bomba na puruka.
Na helicopter.
If kumwesu likuse sheke, oko na fuma. Taking some State House is filth. Instead of me cleaning, so you see the filth, you don't clean it. So who are you leaving the filth? And then they have the audacity to come and insult us. Now, the minister, saying no, to some kupipa mafi.
Yeah.
I actually PF.
Yeah.
Manifio State House. So if we see such kind of indiscipline perpetuated, my government, our government, economic freedom fighters, we are coming with an iron rod to clean this country. And I pray people give us a chance before we get tired. Because an uphill, so I put it back to back in the Korean Yoko, but this is something that we need to do whilst we still have power and the passion. And for Zambia, will deliver it.
Again, somebody said, for sure you are a Christian nation. A president lives in his residence. Not even Donald Trump can live from Moraga House. He has to come from White House. But in Africa, you are so good that you allow.
It's in discipline. I'm a legal person. And if I can advise, I always, whenever I get a chance, I advise about President Nakajima. I feel sorry for him. Because that move, I know he's getting security from international forces where he's at home. He could have gotten the same one in the State House. Now what will happen is, when we change government, and we are hearing that there are these installations that were financed by government, and we will need to investigate. And when we investigate, I think you should have taken a leaf from what happened to those planes that they have since left to go. We'll take over that house as we are investigating it. It will be government property for the time of investigation. And I don't know where you go. So that's why the law is clear. It says when you're president, go into State House. So that you do not confuse private with public. I don't even know if that place has been gazetted, because if it has not been gazetted and is taking sensitive information to his house, he will be locked up for that.
Like Donald Trump.
Yes. So I hope he's learning. I hope he is learning. But the problem that I have is, I wish he had communicated it in a way. Maybe he should have said, no, maybe like that. Not those excuses he was given. And he should have instructed other people like the vice president to move in. Everybody to move institutional houses. Because that precedence he has set, it is detrimental to our country. If anything happened, God forbid, as a country. Because I'm an architect. I do country planning. The way State House was positioned, it was positioned with security detail. Analyzed, intercepted right next to State House. There's a barracks here. At the backdrop here is UTH. This side there are these mountains which I hide out. There's a golf club, we know about the tunnels. So when you are creating a residence for the president, take your wife, if I may borrow. When I'm my chimbara. Take chimbara, president. When you are positioning State House, there are a lot of consideration. so that you fortify nga mwenda kuchipata eko akutukile mfumu sheso shamwenso shaikala shaishungufisha na mapiri just to be safe shalikweti amano. We should learn from something like that. So state house not maika kunyuka sama tinomba eku community house. You are compromising the security of the country because that has not been zoned for security purposes. It is a residential dwelling place. So when we position things are where they are for a reason. People sat down. People had gone to school and knew the president has to stay here for the safety. But if we don't know, they say, my people perish for lack of knowledge. And God have mercy on us. And I'm praying that if only we can respect the system, be disciplined, all these things will fall in place. It's a problem.
Well, President, we went into the economies of this world, and especially Zambia. Coming back to our situation, how is the political situation in our nation? Is it conducive? Is it okay that you can do your politics, your campaigns, your movements without being troubled?
Right now, as I'm talking to you, I'm in court. The whole entire EFF, we are in court. Why are we in court? It's because we spoke against what the government was doing, which we believed was an anomaly. We are spending a lot of money paying legal counsels, paying legal fees. I don't think democracy should be that expensive. That those who endeavor to represent their people's voice should be condemned to such kind of suffering that we are going through right now. Under this new Dawn government, not once have they ever allowed us a single permit for us to demonstrate. Never. The first time when we demonstrated, we were beaten like wild dogs and pushed in Kitwe's cells. So now what we have done is, for the sake of not endangering people's children, we have said, okay, we'll use alternative ways to communicate. The right to assemble doesn't exist under this government. They condemned the Public Order Act. They called it a cake. They called it such a bad law. They come into power. It's 2 years. It has not seen the corridors of parliament to be revised or repealed. They repealed other jokes of laws that we had around us. Death penalty and all that things, which were non-consequential, because what's the difference between a death penalty and life imprisonment? But the very things that are engrossed in creating us a democracy, like the Public Order Act, it's a baby that President Nakane and his UPND are holding on so strongly. And they are protecting it. The Access to Information Bill, they said they will give it. We have been waiting. What are they waiting for? So we have seen that even the way they have been treating, I think President Nakane has locked up political opposition leaders more than any president in this country.
Are you sure?
I'm sure. When you cough, they lock you up. I don't even know what I'm doing. Maybe tomorrow I'll be locked up. Last time I was on a platform like this. The following day I was in sales. They found a reason for me. So I don't know if tomorrow, that's why you know what happens now. My wife escorts me. She doesn't know whether I'll come back home when I go for an interview like this one. Yeah. But this is a person, unfortunately, in government who, against all odds, has got such a healthy relations with these pretentious embassies. I feel ashamed on behalf of the American embassy, or the British embassy. These are the people that are proponents of democracy. They don't rise to condemn him when he does these atrocities to us. They baby him, they chide him, and they feel nice in his hands. So we don't love this kind of double standard that we see with these embassies. We hope going forward, we know they've got vested interest in them to protect their interests. We know they supported him. But I think they should put Zambia above their personal interests. Let them make sure that the democracy that they claim to support is effected even when it goes against their preferred candidate, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema. So we are in a situation where we have to speak for ourselves. You know the thing that's keeping us alive? It's social media.
Social media.
Social media and the people that are principled like this studio. My foot has never docked ZNBC. Do you know that? I'm chased before I enter.
Are you serious?
A person like me going to ZNBC is trespass. They can even lock me up.
Really?
Yes. They've never. They can't. They will do Sunday interview and all these things. They will never interview me. They will never invite me. Because it's now personal to order. The very atrocities that president, that kind of claim the deceased. Now it's there. Some of us are treated like leprous people. We can't be allowed on ZNS. We can't. Because we are not praise singers.
What about it's even difficult to say, do you have a time as the politicians, the opposition and the ruling party, to come together? This question comes to my mind from time to time. There seems to be tension, and also, I don't know, do you have time as politicians to just come together in the spirit of peace, in the spirit of developing this nation? Do you have that time?
I will not speak for some other political party leaders, because some of them, they're disgruntled. Some of them, I don't see the difference between them and sometimes people beg us, you opposition, unite. We would want to unite. But some are a scam. We can't unite ourselves for the sake of uniting with everybody. So I won't speak for everybody. I'll speak for EFF. When UPND came into power, we attended each and every function. In Africa State House, we would go there. Every time the president, but never, not even once has President Hakainde Hichilema ever climbed down the high horse and come down to meet us. It's never. As we have been following Kuma functions, and they call it a day. I don't think we are that hungry that we should go for those functions to go and eat. We go to those functions to go and add value. We were hoping maybe after this meeting we'll have a end of meeting discussion. He doesn't come. So I think we have done our part. We have gone every time we've been invited. A thing that President Hakainde Hichilema never used to do. He never used to attend government functions. He never.
I know that.
He could shy them out. Us, we have been magnanimous. We have respected him and honored and gone there. What happens when you go? He goes to shine. Bosta. You see what I mean? So if we could, then we would have gone there to help him. So if you ask us meeting, we don't have a problem. Even if he called tomorrow that we advise him, we can go there. But it's not a person who's able to climb down that high horse. That is all based in deception. He thinks he knows it all. He doesn't know it all. There is so much he doesn't know. If he didn't know, that's not it. He doesn't know it. And the moment he realizes he doesn't know it, that's the day he will become a real leader. For now, he's surrounded by people that are lying to him. No, you got it. That 2026, he will sweat. Unless they rig. He will sweat. This one. He will sweat. So, what we are saying is, we are praying that he humbles himself. Only God deserves to be up there. We are all mortal beings here. And we all are fallible to mistakes. If but if he can't come down, you know, I don't know. But all what I'm saying is, we need to have him humble himself a bit. Then he can be advised.
I am listening to you, political players. It's like every time the ruling government makes mistakes, there is that agenda of forming an alliance to remove the government. It happened, MMD began with that.
Yes, moved.
It happened, I think it's only President Satao said away with alliance. But this government also, you see, Minister Mutati, Minister Mulupi, all these people at the Ama parties were Kafunda and all these. There was an alliance to remove Ediga. Now there is alliances forming to remove HH. Why that?
Wow, as I said earlier, I would not talk for some people because we are not the same. We are not. We could all be opposition, but we are not the same. We are not cut from the same cloth. That we refuse. Some also just want to go there. Some are opposition. They are just hungry wolves, waiting for an opportunity to go and feed off that which they are admiring. We are not like that. If we have to have an alliance, it will be one based on ideology, and that ideology has to be Zambia-centric. Zambians first. We need to feel for our people first. Put agenda. Right now, even if President Akanechilema invited me, come work with me, come be whatever, I can refuse.
You can?
No. I can refuse. And I'm a man of my word. I can refuse. You know why? I have a dream.
You have a dream?
That a moment should come when you can have a team of Zambians that are patriotic, that will redeem this country. And if I'm a sellout, I may postpone that dream. I don't know when. I'm not the best guy, but I think I was born with a mandate to raise an army of selfless people that will drive an agenda. I think that's why I've been kept this long. When I was a kid, a rail from the curtain, the metal and rod, stabbed me here. It entered. I was only 4 days old. I lived. I'm alive today. Maybe God preserved me, that one day I may help organize an army of patriotic Zambians. I'm not speaking this from excitement. Let somebody look in my life where I'm coming from. I've pursued this passion all my life. I know some people are knowing us now, they're seeing us now. Hey, wakutansi much wakutechimbara, wakuba president. No. I've been on this journey since I was young. Now I'm old with 4 kids. And I still believe we have a duty. We were born for a purpose. That we need to stand for something.
Before we open the lines, President, the Inspector General of Police is called the Commissioner of Police in England.
Yes.
The top man. During COVID, he was instructed by the Prime Minister to take the police officers to go and patrol and ensure that everyone has a mask. So that was left to the police. And anybody that was not compliant with the government order of the mask was to be arrested. The moment the Prime Minister announced that, same day, he said, I have no time to waste. Not even one officer will go on the street to do that cheap job. I'm not going to dispatch my people. And he never dispatched the people. It's on record. Ask any London, ask any person in Britain. He refused to take that political order. He said, I know what I'm supposed to be doing. But when you see police in this nation, the way they are operating, sometimes you feel sorry for them because like what happened to President Edgar Chagwalungu on the Copper Belt to go and attend the service. When there is freedom of expression, freedom of worship, freedom of association, freedom. The question is, do you think the police is professional or they are tagging along with the political orders, or what is it that they are doing? Do they look at the Constitution and say this is against the Constitution or what?
We are in a cycle of poverty, and he who feeds you commands you. We have deliberately kept our officers in a place of vulnerability. Balachula bakapokola, balachula. I have a lot of my friends who are police. They hoped that one day they'll find a job and they will live a decent life. But now they have realized that the way they are treated, the only way for them to live their dreams is for them to be compromised. It's for them to be yes, bwana. So we are in a system that which uses poverty to take hostage of people's conscience. The day we empower Kapokora with good salaries, respect them like people also with a dream to live a happy, progressive life. Why is it that every government that comes in does not uplift the police from Skanze, Frakumanika Skanze, Kwatwa Inkondo. Kamamuna Manda Wakapura, even now, maybe the previous government made an effort. When we look at how we treat our officers, we have not given them the premium. Kapokora muntu wa kuchindika. But kuno kapokora ba nimu puisha ara nina kona pa bondix nga nimu bas. Abulisha nisha kulipira. Kapokora wa Mzambia. But until we put the police in the right place, we reported Baba MWENDA, a person who's not even in government ranks, when he made those utterances and he said, Bishop Alik Banda, you Lucifer, you are a Lucifer, you know? That's hate speech. It's simple as that. As EFF, Economic Freedom Fighters, we went to police. We went to Woodlands Police and lodged in a document. The number I still remember is 2010. That's the docket number. It was opened. Bakapoluku batinya bali fyo kumwita. MWENDA. Batina. At time changed. So MWENDA can fire everybody at Woodlands Police. They're afraid of him. They have failed to call him for hate speech. Direct court. That's now we gave the state an opportunity for them to who will not rest on that hate speech that the president has been blessing. So what I'm saying is that we have compromised the police. They are good people. Most of them, I know they are good people. But when you let a person live in so much poverty, then you take advantage of him. So and I pray when our time comes, we'll put a premium on the police. Not that Mwata promise that will give you an increase. Mwasa pera 600 kwacha increase, na 400 kwacha. So we are in this system that has been created. I wish we can reach your level of professionalism.
Because I'm searching through here. I had an article. I have it, but I'm searching through. There was an article that came through. The then Lusaka commanding officer of Deputy IG, Charity Katanga, instructing that HH should get a permit to go to the to church. There was an article which I was reading here, that he should get a permit. And when I got that, I said to my wife, so is this, okay, Charity Katanga instructs HH should get a permit. Now again, we are saying Edgar should get a permit. Is it revenge or what? Are police officers professional or not? Can they say no to some of these orders?
Yes.
Do you think they can? Without being fired?
They are in a very bad place. They have been so much weakened. I recall, I hope I don't bring those... I was one time arrested. That's why I respect soldiers very much. I don't know. I hope it's not Temula. I was one time picked by soldiers in town. Because when they kicked people out of the street vendors, so we went to interview them. And then we were picked, saying, no, Machira Kopama soldiers. We said, no, look at our phones, Kama camera, checking, but one of them just said, Iwe, so who do you think you are? Why are you doing this? What do you want? And I told him, I'm a party president. So what do you want? That I want to be president. Then he looked at me. So what did you say? That I'm about to be president. Then he made me kneel down for 1 hour. I'm a kufiya kalipa. Pass him on side patch. Now, he instructed the juniors, take him. Muna mushe pa police. Ichimamu kwa 18 hours. Shall for a few because I'm a soldier now. They shot back with him. Then when he stepped out, you know what the juniors did? They said, get up, Mr. President. Go.
Really?
You haven't done anything. I wanted to thank them. They just said, no, go. And when I was going, the boss turned around. He just said, just go. They did not. For once, I looked back and said, okay, then we have men in Zambia. We still have men. And when I look, I felt proud of our men in uniform. There is still hope. We still have those people. And I know even in the police, there are those people. They were telling me, KASONDE, because come 2024, in next year, you'll be our customers. There is a plan being hatched, you will be our regular customers. Come and clean these cells. I said, no man say clean number cells, we go cook some money, she cover portion. So what I'm simply saying is there is hope. But we need to respect our officers. We need to put them in a place. Those, they move by command, and the president is their commander-in-chief. They have a duty to obey.
Are they using, would we say that the police is still in a colonial mentality where they are still stuck on Public Order Act? So someone in Gawalanda kofi bakuita, bakulonga maseos. Because what we are seeing, our law, I've known, I did the diplomat NIPA, MULO, though I didn't pass though. I went to do it for interest's sake. But I learned that in Zambia, everyone is free until it's proved guilty. You cannot lock me up for things that you have not evidence on. And most of the cases are bailable. If you lock me up, somebody can sign the bond and I walk out. But what we are seeing here, it's like once you are locked up and the DEC comes also, anti-corruption comes, the statement, KASONDE to forfeit the house in Riverside, even before the court judges, the whole nation knows KASONDE is about to forfeit the house in Riverside. Is that right?
It's very unfortunate. And actually, you know, we need a certain level of discipline. These, our systems, are a reflection of our character. These same systems, if we had people of better character, wouldn't see. You know that these laws that you can arrest somebody, put him in custody, they are the same ones that are in England. They are the same ones. But in England, that position no, this law is there. But it's not being abused because people there have decided not to have a character that is primitive as regards enforcing such laws carelessly. There is no reason why you need to sleep there. Because which part of keeping you in the cells demands that you need to be gasping for air? Which part of putting you in police custody means you have to sit in filth, fecal matter, you have to sit in which part of, because the reason for arresting is to confine you so that you do not escape. It's not to punish you. So there's nothing that demands that when you're in cells there's nothing. But we hate ourselves because the colonial masters were using those as torture chambers. We have also adopted. So before I find out, I even know you're innocent, first I want to punish you. First, it's like we use those as disciplinary vices. But how do you discipline somebody you haven't found guilty? So that's the problem. We use these things. It has become, I was listening to some preacher man. He was saying, you know, there's a problem when a demon stays in a person. It's not a problem to cast it out. But the problem is when you cast it out and the person has built some habits with the help of a demon. Just because the demon has gone, those habits want to go. That's a different program to fight those habits now. He has carved even a life out of it. So colonialism was like that demon. It taught us self-hate. Our own brothers to beat us. No, it's our own people. So whatever capital walia, bali bafe nomba elevated bafora uniform nomba ni bakapokola. So by Shibat umuntu kumu Babalosa. I was at a boarding school, Mungu Tech. To a at Babalosa, ba fresha gabai sawa ba form 1. Kwale bat tola bat baptize. Bambukula bomba ba bullying, you know, and that perpetuated. Maybe those who started it started with a different motive, but it went as a culture. So there's this culture that we have carried along with the police. They are now abused, and they think it's part of their operations to abuse others, to obey commands that are mediocre. Because who are under MWENDA, who's not even a government functionary, kukonka. This kind of mediocrity does not end there. It even affects our court systems. I heard of a settlement which is an atrocity, of where those people, cadres who were with Bahaka Indechilema, who were facing treason charges, whatever it is, whether
the Mongo issue, yeah.
Whatever it is, they were put kumukobeko. I hear they settled for out of court 6.4 million kwacha. The devil lives amongst us. If we can make such decision, even the devil, I think, gets
that hasn't gone through the court, has it?
They settled it as a settlement.
How?
There are issues that you can settle. The courts can help settle. You can make demands and then choose to end trial. There are these loopholes that the law always provides, but unfortunately, people abuse them. So now, when people are killed in cold blood, the compensation they get to 1.5 million ngabashuk. Abe nguma nanga bamipama 500 pin basenda, 500,000. That's how much they get.
Even
I know so many people.
The other person got 200,000.
Yes, 200,000. But umuntu walele for 28 days kumukobeko. Mampela 6.4 million. And you think you have a president with integrity. If that passes, and one day I meet President Hakainde Hichilema, I'll tell him to repent. Abantu bali landed sala, but he's able to reward. Because even those people, even my sister, Chipenzi, I don't think they have been rewarded that much.
Will Mumbipiri also be rewarded for that injustice?
Of course, it is premised on proximity. We know she can't be rewarded that. There are many, many people who are being compensated today, who are not even political, shouldn't even be political aggrandizements. It shouldn't be rewards that are perpetuated, because all Zambians are equal, whether you are a politician, you are a what. So that was a one-off to appease cadres. And I see this being perpetuated. Next, you should invite us. We come and discuss the budget. There are some things we have unearthed. How our money is being stolen. Invite us. We come and discuss. I'll be so glad.
In Zambia.
In Zambia, and those things are being hidden to people in plain sight, as our resources are being plundered. It happened in the 2023 budget. It is happening in the 2024 budget. So we have unearthed those, and we want to show you how this government, unfortunately, has introduced clauses to steal from the people of Zambia, and people don't know it. We have got a team of experts, and we have unearthed it, and we are bringing it to the fore.
Oh, God. President, let's have the lines open. This is national matters. As politicians, may God raise Zambian people at heart, who will live not for their personal gratification, but to leave Zambia a better country than they found it. And I know we can. You know, I flew through Rwanda 2 weeks ago, and I looked at that country. I looked at how, Uganda is also developing. I look at Zambia, and I look at what is going on. Surely, I think we can do better. We can do better. And to speak as a pastor president, I hope you have nothing personal against President Church. To speak as a pastor, in this nation we need love. You know, God, Christ, anybody who calls himself a Christian or they go to church, Christ left the one coin called love with two sides. There's a love that is shed abroad in our hearts which goes beyond human understanding. I don't have to love you because you are Bemba. I don't have to love you because you are educated. The love of God does not look at those things. But should I fail to love you the way I need to love you, the other side of a coin, Jesus said, okay, if you fail to love President Kasonde, love him as your enemy. Jesus said, love your enemies. You see, that's the coin of love with two sides, which can make you to love somebody, you just like them, you say, I love you. But there is the other side, where you look at your enemy, and you say, look, you are my enemy, but I'll still love you. And that's the love that Christ demonstrated on the cross. With pain, bleeding on the cross, he still said, Father, forgive them. They do not know what they are doing. Let's pick up this call. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, how are you?
Permanently blessed. How are you, sir?
We are fine, thank you.
What's your name and where are you calling us from?
I'm General Mbofoto from
You are who?
General Mbofoto.
General.
Yes, Mbofoto.
I will just call you General. Yes,
Right.
General, please, from Kitwe, Ndola, or where?
Mutendere Ichimipata.
Okay, yes, General.
Yes, we are very happy that we have President MWENDA on TV.
Yes, sir.
I think it's echoing what we call the pan-Africanism movement.
Mm-hmm.
We as Africans have been accused for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
This is the voice echoing from Niger, Burkina Faso, Guinea, Gabon, Sudan. Pastor or Bishop, you raised a very important issue there, where the Iranians from Niger is picked from Niger, where they are saying $6 to 20. It is taken France, who are retaining the 10 million at 300 euros. That is a very big number.
Absolutely.
We are very happy that we have the movement of young people. General KASONDE will give you the title General because we know that we need a movement. It's the same problem we are facing here in Zambia. You have mentioned a lot of important issues. How can it be playing the flying from northwestern province, carrying our minerals? They have been mining uranium, they have been mining a lot of minerals, taking them out of our country. Let me not block a lot of people. Mr. KASONDE, the president for the economic group of fighters, we are behind you. We are not going to continue to be accused by the West. We as Africans should awaken to fight against imperialism, to fight against the neo-colonialism, to fight against the white monopoly factor. When a white man thinks our resources should be made to make their lives better and zero. Thank you very much. Let me allow other callers to come in.
General there says it's behind you.
Thank you.
That we cannot continue allowing the West to be robbing our material like this.
I think enough is enough. This generation, we will live for only that cause. That when we are gone, the people that will come after us will say, oh, they lived the generation that gave us economic emancipation. We refuse to die in poverty. This generation, we have refused to die in poverty. We will emancipate Africa.
You as youths, have you realized that you've got the potential to actually liberate this nation economically, and that you can live up to the vision of building Zambia? Have you got youths of that caliber?
Definitely. I think if there was a time when Zambia was pregnant with opportunity and the right people who are there, there was never a time better than this. This is a time when you throw a stone in Zambia, it will fall on a graduate. We have finally reached a moment where those people that you see moving Ifibala, those people are a resource. We have a decent population. So the time is ripe. There has never been a time better than this. There was a time when Zambia used to lack manpower. I remember in the 1968 when we were cut off by Rhodesia, South Rhodesia, and we were cut off from our supply of coal. And Zambia was almost going to break to its knees. That Kaunda looked within his cabinet and they sat down and they caved a strategy that within 1 year they built a coal mine and became self-sufficient. They struggled when they just got independence that now computer takwari. But I think now we are in a place where we have the resource.
Let's
we
pick
have
up
the manpower.
Let's pick up this call. Hello, good evening.
Hello?
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Permanently blessed. How are you, sir?
Very fine, thank you.
What's your name and where you calling us from?
This is Aaron calling you from Lusaka.
You are Aaron,
Yes,
calling from Lusaka.
yes, sir.
Please go ahead and contribute, Aaron.
What I want to contribute on, I want to talk about two issues.
Go ahead.
One,
Yeah.
it concerns the current happening concerning the bringing back of the data.
Concerning what?
The bringing back of the data.
Okay.
I have been following my brother, my leader, Mr. KASONDE. Yeah, so now I've been hearing a lot of people asking you, what is the alternative in bringing back the data? Do you have an alternative and all that? So there is something which a lot of Zambians have used. In 2019, the minister of mines during the PF reign, he applied in court that the arbitration must be put away, it must end by 2021. And according to the UN study, it has been discovered that the arbitration only takes about 3 to 4 years. So now, a lot of Zambians are saying, no, we didn't have another alternative except to bring back Vendata. And yet the PS government has made it clear that they were going to go ahead with the arbitration. I have not heard Minister Kamusu make mention of how much KPM is worth right now. Because, for instance, if we went ahead with the arbitration, like the PS government wanted to do, and we discovered that, we made an analysis, and we weighed how much KPM is worth, and we discovered that KPM is worth more than the liability. The better option was to go ahead with the arbitration and get rid of this principal investor. But if you have the statement from Mr. Kamusu, he said with his own mouth that the moment that the current president attended this power, the first instruction to him was to pull the case out of court. Which means if government didn't carry out an analysis to find out how much is this KPM worth against the ability which KPM has. All they keep saying is, oh no, if we went ahead with the case, we could have lost. So what if we lost? Because according to the UN study, the amount which the data would have been given was between 1 billion and 2.3 billion. And if you also add on that number the liability which we owe Central, which is about 1.3 to 2 billion, we could have accumulated a liability of about 5 billion. What is 5 billion to a country like Zambia, which is worth trillions already? We could have unlocked the Tanzanian government. We could have used the means of the Tanzanian government and pay off all that debt and use the system as a place to even refund underperforming money. But at least we could have gotten rid of that useless vendetta, useless investment. But the current government didn't do any of that. They didn't weigh the words of KCM against the liability. All they are preaching to us is, oh no, KCM has liability. Who doesn't have liability? Which country doesn't have liability? Which company doesn't have liability? But you weigh the weight of the company. How much is KCM worth? We know that KCM right now is the richest property deposit in the world. The fact of the matter is, Vendetta knew that he was going to win that case. And he was going to get the highest he could have gotten was 2.3 billion. Why did Vendetta agree to pull the case out of court if he knew that he was going to win? It is because Vendetta understands that KCM is worth more than the 2.3 billion he could have gotten had he won the arbitration. So because we are done. You understand that?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. KASONDE. President, have you heard the point Aaron has?
Yes.
He's saying these people knew that they will get more money than what the government is scared of.
Definitely. You know, what they're trying to create, they're trying to create an impression like people can't understand, there's some jargon they're involved in. There isn't. That's arbitration way. That's just one path. Going to the court for litigation is another path. In Zambia, I've got enough laws. I gave an example. We have got the Lands Acquisition Act. We can do an expropriation. You know how you do an expropriation? You simply need to give one reason. And the reason is that you are doing it in the interest of the people. Once you establish that you are moving, you are repossessing the mine in the interest of the people, you need now to quantify. How much is this match worth? How much is their investment? You can simply give them a compensation. So after you establish cause, the next is that you need to work a compensation. We have the powers, we have the right. Expropriation is a right. What is not allowed is expropriation without compensation. But expropriation with compensation, it's in our constitution. It's also in the Land Acquisition Act. So those things that no to they are caught woof. That's what I'm saying. Unfortunately, but I don't know. I don't think he knows what he's talking about. Unfortunately, even my big brother Akainde, I don't think he knows what he's talking about, with all due respect. We know those things. I went to law school with his daughter, with all due respect. Maybe they should have asked her. She would have advised them what is at stake. So what I'm simply saying is, there is nothing complicated there. There is nothing. If you're those are simple things. It's not rocket science. It's simple. Now, maybe it's unfortunate, and we shouldn't be priding ourselves in Mubukop. Those are simple things. Those are simple things. So what I'm simply saying is that there's nothing complicated about that. There's nothing. If you have to compensate, the principle is that there's what is known as the whole principle. On how you come up with the Meruti quantums. You need to tabulate. It's simple. All those things are simple.
Your big brother and partner in South Africa, Julius Malema, is one Pan-Africanist who is saying these things belong to us. We shall grab them without compensation, especially the land.
Yes.
He's very serious on it. And each time I'm in South Africa, I see that man on a very serious note. And There are other countries, by the way. We are not the first. When the law is passed in parliament, like you are saying, you can still own vendetta.
It's simple. There's really nothing stopping us.
You go through parliament and say, we'll do this. I'll give you one example. MMD sold the soul of Zambia, which is called the fiber. Zesco had laid fiber from Livingstone, Chirabombo, you remember? The cost of that fiber was so much. The late President, may so rest in peace, President Lubia Banda, when he gave that to Lap Green, and they got that, President Sata said, we will come and get this back.
Yes.
And I remember President Banda saying that Sata doesn't know what he's doing. But it just went through parliament and he got that fiber back from Lap Green. Yeah. And he brought it back to the nation. Like you are saying, you just have to find a reason. Why are you getting this? Is it in the interest of the nation or not?
Oh, that's what the law says. That's why Kabango could under Cliff because if you papa. Tula papa, I think kufa fiomutu. Ubukopo. Takwa befiakosa. President should consult. Expropriation is a right. There is no company in this country that the government cannot take. They can take anything, provided they compensate, and that's international law. That's a requirement only. You need restitution. Bring them to the place where they were. That's the only requirement.
But it takes me again to what I said. Probably President HH found something which may be of complex nature, which could cost Zambia so much, and weighing the options probably is to just say, let's bring them back. This is what I'm saying. I'm saying you and I may sit from outside not knowing why this has come, because definitely with all the reasons and what people cried about over vendetta, to come back, there must be something which you and I don't know.
Yes, they can know. There will always be a reason. Even those who kill, they always have a reason. But I think our reasons should not supersede the reasons for the people. I think a moment should come that Zambians should own this. And President Akadechilema promised that we need to own. The Kenneth Kaunda house there in town, government got it through expropriation. They got it, said, no, it was created in public interest. They brought it back. So I know President Akadechilema cannot go that path of expropriation because he's representing the interests of the imperialists. He's representing the very interests of the people. It doesn't serve the interest of the Zambian people. That doesn't. So he does not have the backbone to make such a decision. It is alien to him. How is he going to dance Kubasungu when he takes away those things? Because he can manage to let people of Zambia die of starvation just for him to have a title and say, no, he's a good president in Africa. Now, but you are the best president in Zambia when your people are dying of hunger. You are even proud saying, I'm the best president. You are the best husband. And I'm not keeping my wife well. I'm supposed to say, oh, thank you for the guest, but there's something you need to know. I'm sorry. But now we should have abantu wala chura batubachura mu cyaro mobe bareko bati the best president wamana kuva the best in what in serving their interests. It's not serving the interest of that. So it's best with what baba they promo but no, your kwacha is the best doing in Zambia. Abasungu bali abatema ba HH. If Americans loved HH, now if the British loved HH, if they loved him, if they honestly loved him, wouldn't be where we are. Our kwacha is bleeding. It's one of the junk money in Africa. Not long ago, it's just 2 years, they were praising him that your money is the best performing in Africa. Not long ago. But our dollars at this kwacha has to appreciate. Right now, kwacha is at 21 kwacha.
Yes.
To $1.
Let's pick up this call and hear. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, thank you.
What's your name and where you calling us from?
My name is Joseph Kazembe.
Joseph Kazembe.
Yes, sir.
In Luansha?
Yes,
In Bemba we say that we kalampe pino mupundu mfweko mpundu shilepo na you are in Luansha. How are you happy that Vendetta is back?
It is all trash, irresponsible, and it's total scam, and I don't know the vocabulary that I can use, but you always
You say it's a scam?
It is a scam to bring back this money to come from government in our country. I'm telling you, first of all, I would like to Kinanda Committee Masai.
London.
Although I'm not one of your members of the PF Front, but the issue that you are, the issue that you are me, that you are saying about the young gender in this to a Salaputa. But when you started that program and the way you explained everything, I'm telling you, I feel you set the fever into my body. And the current government, the way they are behaving, but let's tell you that we are following some, we are the Makala. And really, she is the Pakistan. Like that, around about this time next year, this country will be worship. Lamaita monomuwanisha, itu maranda dilinya Yankondo. Because when you go at the town center, you are going for Papa the Green Hands there. Power to you, what they are, the unit is moving a station, which can I imagine? Then it's not what which these people are talking about. Instead of who is talking about this, now he's saying, now he's saying, what is this? Self-praise is sin. That's
If you feel them cry.
Self-praise is sin. When I am a teacher, and I am declared definitely as in this government. I never voted for them, but I'm living in the now I'm the situation is so pathetic, especially on the Coca-Cola. I'm telling you, the situation is really terrible. Anyway.
But Joseph Kazembe twamfa namumfefe balanda bamitasha atefe mulelanda muli amano niba dedicated the PF batefe mwalanda fiabapera no mwenso mubiri. How this country is being torn apart.
I think we should not despair. Help is on the way. Chaliwama twalibuka, we are awake. And they are doing this. I'm glad we needed to have this. We needed to have Baka in the HLM. So that when we take it now, people will know that the help was not going to come from Europe. It will come from in. Aba PF bali cheko ba China tafiatwa afwide. Abana una batola kuba sungu ku America na tafitwa afwide. So that now when we come with the Pan-Africanist movement, baka tuchungirira because ifintu ifibaesha. But
our president bali ku China paso.
Kwena na kailinga wabula banda tinkala mu ya bulwa ile nyechana. I think ila bali omanichipante pante no mataleshi no mufubale kita koso ko benga beta na akurasha tibaya ngat oh bali deko kani we don't know. I think at this moment where he has reached he can do anything because the people that like to him, the IMF like to him, and they will help him. IMF bali mompa ande chikwanga bachimwe na kumamparani IMF yaje afu hapo muntu
Not even one country.
Nga waberengana mu Zambia, Kaunda had to tell them, get out. And Bakainde Chema should ask, mwana wasa, we know about hipiki. After hipiki, ba musumine, pakabe bati get out. Mwana wasa told the IMF, get out. But Tulumba said, no, they wrote off, shan. They did not stop there. They had to tell them, get out. Mwana wasa, Bakainde wenat darling. No. So they have messed him up. Right now, he's like a man sinking, pulling on to any straws that he can see. But he's not humble enough. He wants to go down with the country.
But if you are to just, for the sake of balance, what good works have you seen in MMD? What have you seen? Because I know that they have increased the CDF, and of course they've employed 30,000, those things, and they have employed teachers. Are those not good works?
For the sake of balance, us will make sure that our job is to hold them accountable for those things they're failing. I've promised myself and say, wow, they score, I will acknowledge, but it's not my duty. My duty is to point them where they are erring because they don't have people to tell them. So, I think they have got enough ZNBC, and I don't want to waste our time here. ZNBC, but I remember every day. I think here, I'll tell them those things they are not taught. If you see DF, that's a scam. Because, look, you remove money from central government, you take it to local government, and say, not to increase. No, now you haven't done anything. You increase money when you get money from outside into the system. Mami basa that no, na mipele fya kule fingi because bapoka abana. Fish was over. At least if you are kudanga fya fulanga waya swakari mbule ingi, what pera once to other fya fulani. What this government has simply done is it has starved central government and taken the money. It's called decentralization and bring it down. So there's not, it's not like no. So if a road was supposed to be done by central government, I was a consultant for Lusaka City Council. If I'm construction, I'm an architect. KASONDE KASONDE no jack of what trades. No, so what we are simply saying is, what this government has simply done is, the money that was meant, a road was supposed to be done by central government. You take it to constituency to do it. No, not 250. But show people where you have gotten the money. Do you ever hear them say, no, we have reduced money from central government? They don't. But they'll tell you about the increase in local government. If you have a system, look, there are some projects, if I can give them advice, there are some projects that are supposed to be carried by central government. And those for local government. Don't must project to no. They can local government to watch them. Kurulate the big. Number projects are cool. But no government. But that's why in Asanga now Panga station, people that do kunum. It's because but no government, they don't have the expertise. So what we are saying is not related to Funganya. There are things why things are like
where was that? Don't make me laugh. Yeah. So, and then the Vapera Kwamaka Parava Imen Davale Pitana ko, but they should be handling to small things. Because what is happening is now a local government, bank road but after one rain season, road poor Sanka gravel. It's because CDF is 25 million. 10 PH Pangira Mama roads here. Central government is supposed to plan for major projects. Let them build. That's why Masanga Hospital, Takuri, clinic, even Nimiti, when you buy in bulk, my man buying funda sana. But each one in how she manages to carry through the mouth. From Madame Kushta bulk. At no, each hospital, open a kumpanga, Washtapana doyavo. They are buying that at retail, what in Pamela. It becomes very expensive. But if central government can go into dealership, partnership with pharmaceuticals, we buy in bulk and distribute across the country. You save. Would you have the time maybe to come here and meet some government official, then you talk out these things?
I would love to. No, even not just coming, even following me where they are. If you invited me, even tomorrow, I'm ready. As we say, we were born ready. Even 02, you call me, I come. I think today I came. How many guests come 40 minutes before the program?
No one. When you called me and said, Pastor, I'm at the studio, I was so surprised.
Since he became president, he has never been on time for not even a single function. Last time we invited us, they were celebrating. Because they said the function was starting at 19. I even told my wife, keep me some mushima, I'll come and eat at 20. Let me not eat before I go. 20 hours, the function. So,
yeah, but that one can be excused. You know, the president has so many things to handle. So many things. Maybe once in a while, we expect him to be ready. Na imwe never KASONDE nga mwaba president. Mwatu ati pastor chilwatuka kumane pa 10 o'clock. Mukesa pa 14 hours.
No, I think it's a culture.
It's a culture.
He's never, okay, sometimes you can excuse most to la chair. I'm not saying it's chair wapo. Rest my wrong chair. But it should not be a habit. Bakainde has never been on time. No, but cash value that na rise pa 14. Pa 14. No banga wabe ndasa pa 11 hours nchipasa for 14 hours. Na nguni security shani ni Mozambique afi. Aba na wabena Biden ngabanda 14 wafika pa. Ni shibena feva afi pa security risk. So I think it is our culture. Zambian time, those are things we need to get rid.
Let's pick up some text messages. I know they are there, lest people complain. Evening, Pastor Chiluba and President MWENDA. What's your view on the incoming French ambassador who is an homosexual? Married to a fellow man. He is coming to Christian nation. We are in trouble. This it's your question. We say we don't believe in this. And anyway, President MWENDA, I salute you for having enlightened us. Zambia is in wrong hands. UPND has turned Zambia into a one-party state. The president has really disappointed the masses. And another text, Mr. Director. Greetings, thank you so much for the work you are doing, Pastor. Mr. MWENDA, do you think we as a country are ready for a constitutional review process? Yes, Musonda. Let's deal with these three quickly. The ambassador coming is married, whatever. Maybe let's skip that because there is no evidence to it. Let's skip that. Let's go to another one, constitutional review. Let me preside over that. Let's.
Okay, I'm itching. But if indeed he is, let's say if.
If he is.
Maybe we need to put our position.
Okay, indeed, if he is.
If he is an homosexual coming, as EFF would demonstrate. That's all I can come. Would demonstrate and demand that he goes back. As simple as that. I think that's what we can say at the moment.
Because you cannot have a Christian nation where you are against this, then you are inviting that. So you demonstrate. Okay, constitutional review, you've seen that.
I think
the other one just said, yes, the country is in the wrong hands, but this constitutional review, do you think we should go through that process again?
You know, there are some decisions where I sit back and let people speak. And one such kind of an issue is the Constitution. The Constitution, I would leave it to what people want, not what EFF wants.
You are a wise president. I'm sure the young people are just jumping to say we have a youth president. Let's pick messages, Mr. Director. Give a church time. Is the right person. 6 months from now, I see Zambia transformed almost in all sectors. This is Humphrey Chamunda. Your comment?
Humphrey Chamunda.
Good evening, Pastor Chiluba. All politicians are the same. See how HH has HH was speaking when he was in opposition. This is Reverend Chitao from Solwezi. Says the way you are speaking, that's how HH used to speak. But there is that man who said, Mr. Chamunda, he says, give him 6 months. Zambia will be at a better place.
My phone number is 0966 23 76 12. I want him to take my number. 0966.
I'll give you permission to do this. What's the number?
0966
0966
23
23
76
76
12.
12.
If next year, he said 6 months.
He said 6 months.
If in
0966 23 76 12, yeah.
If 6 months will be in a better place, let him call this number. And I'll pay him handsomely.
If 6 months from now we will be in a better place,
As a country,
you are going to pay him
I'm
handsomely.
going to pay him handsomely. Let him keep this number. And if he doesn't,
Okay.
that's when the time paid if he doesn't handsomely.
Okay.
Because I was, Matana remind, after the president gave that speech in Parliament, opening of Parliament, he gave a theme that we are building on the successes of previous year, because the previous year was like going into the field. Now, as we took time to analyze his speech, do you know what we observed? He was saying we are building on success. So we are asking ourselves, what are the successes? Now, 2022, the time he gave that budget speech was on the 9th of September 2022. And he was giving this other one on the 8th September 2023. So it's a 1 year exact. Now you're saying, we are building on the success. Then we asked ourselves, let's compare 2022, what was happening on the 9th of September 2022 and what is happening on the 8th September 2023. And we created the chart. And I still remember it. The chart read like this. We said, let's look at the macroeconomic indicators. On September 9th, 2022, the kwacha, $1 was equal to 15 kwacha 65 ingwe. $1 was equal to 15 kwacha 65 ingwe. Those who have got computers, Google. That's what you know how much we are now. The exchange rate on the 9th, on the 8th of September 2023, a year later, was reading 21 kwacha
13
ngwe.
13 ngwe.
Yeah, 13 ngwe to $1. Is that an increase or a fallout? That's a terrible fallout. Eh? We are moving from 15. We didn't end there. The president struggled to say during his speech what the inflation was. What he did is he gave the annual inflation rate. He said the annual inflation rate we have closed at a single digit, 9.9. He was not saying the whole truth. Because the annual inflation rate, which we closed with in September 2022, was 9.8. It was actually even less. Now the actual inflation on September 9th, 2022 was 10.2. Anyone with Google those things. If I'm lying, tell the police to come and pick me up tomorrow. It was 10.2. You know what inflation was when you were saying we have improved the macroeconomic conditions? Indicators? It was 10.8. So that is another fallout. What was the price of petrol? It was another increase. All the economic indicators, even millennial, when you were speaking, the price of millennial on 9th September 2022, Akabunga 25 kg was 165. What was the price of millennial? 2023, 8th September, it was at between 275 to 320. So 165 in a 320, ni improvement. So there was no single indicator that showed that they had made inroads. But he was there praising himself. Hey. We looked at the things they had done. They had promised in agriculture. They had promised that, no, they had found the good deals. remaining soya beans, we had found a deal with China. This time we even failed to talk about because people are stranded with their soya beans as Steve talk about the government here. So what we are saying is until we reach a moment where we are making progress, we shouldn't fake it because we cannot build a country on a foundation of lies. So I'm challenging this brother of mine saying, I will show you today, I'll keep this in my calendar, and I'll show you the macroeconomic indicators, the parameters of today, and those which you have after 6 months. We'll be able to compare. So take up like, no, Filippo, we know. No. We'll show him the macroeconomic indicator. And I can tell him the exchange rate for today. And we'll remind him in 6 months.
What's the month? What is 6 months for his sake? Because it's part of the panel. What is 6 months from now?
September, October, November, December, January, February, March.
In March, keep this date. Yes. I'll call you.
No, I even call me.
For the sake of this person, yes. We come and analyze.
We come and analyze 6 months. I'm always game. You know, you call me at 02. I'll be here. Yes.
Let me just.
Another one. Have we answered both?
It was the institutional.
Okay.
But let me read the last 4 messages, Mr. Director. Just put them back to back, no messages. You know, my director, that is a polite way of saying he can't go on because we are running into news time. He's always saying no messages.
Okay, no, I appreciate it.
President KASONDE, as ever, it's been a joy having you here. What are your last words on the political scene, economical scene, to the nation, and how best can we work together, the ruling party, you people, the alternative governments, how can we work together to develop this, our nation? This nation is not UPND. This nation is not PF. It is not MMD. It is Zambia. All of you are feeding into this nation. So take off your political jackets. How best can we develop our nation? Your last words.
I was once somebody's little boy. Now I'm a parent. And I've learned that love has got levels. There's tough love, and there's that one, baby love. When we talk to President Akande Chilema, we're giving him tough love. We do not speak from a point of view of hate. I'm a Christian, born again, and striving to carry my cross every day. I'm trying. Sometimes I do badly, but I still get back and fight. So what we are saying now is, a moment should come that we need to put our differences aside. But like in a football game, you may love your opponents, but you want to pass the ball because it's a competition of ideas. So what we do with the UPND is a competition of ideas. Take what to Alibapata. No, we check them because we are the alternative. And when they fail, we score. We are not happy in their failure. But we have to push them. So people tell, no, tell us your manifestation. And for now, I'm not interested in telling you about what I'll do. For now, I want these people to deliver because it's not my time. I can't be telling you 2 years every time I'm singing about it. You still start with UPND for the next 2 years, 3 years. They are still here. So we need to make them work. It's not time for me to be telling you my manifesto. There will be enough time. Now, let's make this government work. We will tell you there will be a time whenever I open my mouth, manifest, because it's tower up. But for now, let's make them work. But as we are making work, it's time for us to mobilize. We are economic freedom fighters, and we are appealing to you Zambians. We have a hope and a dream, and every good journey starts with one step. Today, we may not have the gravitas that we may look to be, but we are going out like a fire. And a good vision cannot be frustrated. I'm coming here as president for the economic freedom fighters, and I'm calling on you Zambians. Let us unite, let us carry Zambian, and let's have the thirst for Zambia. This is a journey that we can't do alone, but we can do together. Join us, let us work together. Our youth, Banamayo, Bashtata. It's moment that we had something that is authentic Zambian, that is based in Zambia, and together we can make Zambia great. We believe that wherever we want to go, our feet will take us there.
I like that.
Thank you.
I've been your pastor in this studio on behalf of my wife, the CEO of this great television station, on behalf of the young men and women, our news team, the technical team. You are just the best. I mean, God has given you people to my wife and I. We are grateful. And the Healing Word Ministries, you are fantastic. especially you viewers. Without you, we wouldn't know whether we are doing the right thing or not. And I must say at this point that I'm on record on asking the government, by the way, to say, please give me the people I should work with. Give me people from the government. I've pushed this to State House, I've pushed this to say I need people that can come and sit where President Kasonde is sitting. Apparently, if I don't have Tabo Kawana, nobody comes. So sometimes you tend to be accused that you are PF, you are opposition, but I call these people, and I'm grateful that Honorable Kabuswe came here, Honorable Chipoka Mulenga came here. You know, there are some ministers that you call them, they'll say, Pastor, I'll come. But others, one person categorically told my friends, I can't go to Cabinet because that station is PF. I was honored to be given that title of a cadre when I've never been, and I will never be.
We'll defend you as we know who you are.
I'm so grateful. But I am so grateful to all of you. May God bless this great nation of Zambia. May God bless the upcoming leaders. President Kasonde, don't get discouraged. Imiti ikula empanga. At the time President Kaunda was there, nobody ever thought there would be another president in Zambia. But we have had 7. Who knows? One day we'll have President Kasonde, and with a shining bald head. For now, you are still gathering grace. I've been your host, Pastor Chiluba. Until next time, keep watching Kamnet TV. Remember, Kamnet TV is not just another channel. Bye-bye.